Hello, everyone, and welcome to Variant Roles. I am your host and game master, Dan Gaston, at MadSciDM on Twitter, and we are here with the premiere of Project VHS, a Cypher System game of occult horror in space. And I have just a fantastic and fabulous crew of folks here joining me for this lovely game. And so we're going to let them go around and introduce themselves. And we're going to start with the folks in my upper left with Anders. Anders, how are you doing?
Oh, that's me. Hi, I'm good. Okay, sorry. I'm good. Hi, I'm Anders. You can find me at Anders_D_K on the internets. And tonight I am playing Takashi Hano, or Glitch, as he will tell you all of his friends call him. He and I both use he/him pronouns, and he is a weird adept who rides the lightning.
Excellent. I am excited to dive in and find out all about Glitch. All right, kicking it down. Next we have Val.
Hello, everybody. I'm Val. I'm the Nerdy Niffler on the Twitters, and tonight I am playing Natasha Longshot Kane, who uses she/her pronouns. We both use she/her pronouns, and she is a mysterious explorer who bears a halo of fire.
Excellent. All right, continuing down, we have Emma.
Hello, everyone. I am Emma. You can find me at MK Hansen on Twitter, and I use she/her pronouns. And today I am playing Billy Lawless, who is a mystical adept who explores dark places.
Excellent. So exciting. All right, continuing around, going in this counterclockwise right-hand path direction, we have Quinn.
Hi, hello. I'm Quinn, Quintastic here on the Twitch universe and Twitch _ on Twitter. I use she/her pronouns. Why am I talking like this? And I will be playing Dr. Mesli Flores, who is a perceptive speaker that calculates the incalculable, who also
Excellent.
uses she/her pronouns.
Perfect. All right. And continuing around, we have Maria.
Oh, hello. I'm Maria. I'm at Happy Capster on Twitter. I use she, they pronouns. And today I will be playing Eva Delgado, who is an inquisitive explorer who would rather be reading.
Excellent. I love it. I feel it. It's a mood. That's me like 90% of the time. All right. And last but not least, we have Taryn.
Hey everybody, Taryn here. You can find me on the Twitter at TarzanNoZ, and pretty much that's it. I use he/him pronouns, as does my character, Security Officer Marcus Hatsey, who is a tongue-tied warrior who needs no weapon.
Excellent. All right. We will dive in momentarily to begin this game. But first, because it's serious business, we have an opener. All right, thank you, folks, and welcome to Project VHS. So, we open on a ship deep in space, on the very edge of the solar system. The UNS, or Erebus, has sailed out from Earth to the very edge, to the Oort cloud, chasing a mysterious signal that appeared 5 years ago. Your mission has taken 2 years to burn at full speed to the halfway point. Now you're decelerating 2 weeks out from your target. All of you through this whole period have been nestled in the dreamless sleep of the scientifically undead. Genes spliced in, pumped full of chemical compounds, you've been put in a rusty, creaky sort of suspended hibernation, tucked away safely in your capsules called coffins, tucked in the tombs of the ship. You're scheduled to come out slowly, have time to recuperate, let withered flesh refill, let your blood recirculate. But instead you are awoken with glaring, flashing warning signals as your gum-filled eyes creak open and an alarm rings out through the ship. And a voice comes over the speakers. All crew, this is the XO. Report to the command hub immediately. There's a hiss as your coffins hiss open. Your breath, as your lungs refill with air for the first time in 2 years. The loud thunder of your blood pumping through, newly awakened in your ears. It's slow going, it's hard to lever yourself out. But the lights clicking on through this cold aseptic space. As cool air rushes over your skin, joints popping and cracking arthritically, and still just this soft alarm. Boom, boom, boom. Crew, please report immediately. You look around and see this team of people that you trained with for years on Earth, on Mars, in orbit, preparing for this mission. Something has gone wrong. So what do you all do?
Cough a lot. She's coughing, and she like kind of falls onto her knees and is just like coughing and spitting up what I assume to be just gelatinous goop.
Yeah, like a thick fluid that sort of has been settled in the bottom of your lungs, sort of keeping everything in place so that your lungs didn't collapse on themselves. And it's just coming out in like thick, yellowy, masses out onto the floor. This has been an emergency wake up.
Eva's not doing great.
I think that Billy probably would also get up. She would like cough, but she would just like wipe her mouth and then just start making her way over to, did they say we need to go to the command center? Is that what they said?
Yeah, like the command hub of the ship, which is sort of some distance away. Gravity is light, so you've been burning sort of at less than 1G through the whole ship, or through the whole trip. Both accelerating out and decelerating in. So it's not too bad. You're not under full Earth gravity, but it's also not 0G or anything at the moment either.
Okay. I probably would also just check to make sure that everybody was getting up. And once I saw that, then I'd go.
Marcus is just going. There's no acknowledgement. There's a grunt probably as a knee wobbles to hit the floor, and just he's walking straight there.
Coughing things up as he's going down the hallway.
Is
Okay.
there a
Oh no, you go, Glitch.
is there a computer panel or machine interface of any sort here where we are?
Yeah, absolutely. There would be at least a few terminals around in the room. So you know that the design of this ship is fairly disconnected. It's not as heavily networked as it could be for security reasons. Someone cheekily has named it the Adama Protocol. But there is a station that you can access.
I just want to kind of log in really quick and see if I can turn off the alarm sound. The lights can keep going, I don't care, but just the loud alarm, because I feel like this is a 2-year-long sleep hangover, and that alarm is not good.
So you enter like a few quick command strokes, access an appropriate administrative panel, and it gives you the option, and it sort of, pops up. Are you sure? Has all crew been alerted?
Yeah, I don't check.
Yeah. And so the audible alarm goes off, but the like yellow like emergency lights that were flashing are still flashing.
Cool. And then I'll make my way to the command deck as well.
Kane is doing much the same as Marcus. As soon as we get up, she's gone and doesn't look to check if everyone's following, just coughs up, keeps walking, goes straight to the command center.
So then I would
Yeah, no, you're good.
Okay. I would probably be the last one out. Because I don't particularly care for space, and I don't take well to the everything that's happening in my body. So it would take me a hot second to cough everything up. And as I'm coughing everything up, I think, God, I want a fucking cigarette. And then after that's handled, I would daintily deal with any residual and then go to the main hub.
All right. So as you all sort of stagger down the corridor, the ship is under no distress. It's still sailing smoothly. The correct orientation, you haven't detected any, violent motion in the ship or anything like that. And you sort of make your way down this long spine corridor that kind of goes through from the rear section of the ship that has the engines and engineering and the tombs and cargo. Because, the crew, when it's in storage, is basically glorified cargo. And so this long spine kind of goes up to the command module that has the central command hub, which is kind of a multi-purpose room, for lack of a better word. It's your mess, it's a command center, it's kind of everything. And it's in this central torus structure that eventually these spoked modules will come off of that can generate spin gravity once you're no longer moving. So at the moment, that's all kind of tucked away because you're under thrust. And you make your way up to the front. And in that space is a tall-ish, thin and angular humanoid figure, sort of standing patiently and waiting, feet kind of braced out in an almost military posture, like slightly wider than shoulder width, hands tucked behind their back. But it is clearly artificial. So it looks vaguely humanoid, but is purposely not made to look actually human. And this is affectionately the executive officer, which is Frank. Frank is an android inhabited by a shard of an artificial intelligence that is connected to the AI that actually controls the ship that Frank refers to as the captain. And the captain is nestled in a very powerful quantum computer. But again, because of the Adama protocol, things are kept isolated, and so only Frank and sometimes Glitch and Marcus are authorized to actually communicate with the captain. And Frank just says in a measured voice, "Welcome, crew. I trust that wasn't too abrupt for your liking."
Frank, what the fuck is happening?
Yes. Well, two objects were detected. Strangely enough, they were not detected until we were practically on top of them and some sort of engines fired. They managed to slip through the particle net that normally would destroy any sort of micrometeoroid or tiny asteroid that might get a little too close for comfort. And none of our sensors, which are trained on the object that we were approaching, detected them. They were totally dark until they suddenly accelerated with a massive burst of energy in order to match our exact speed in seconds. It's a maneuver that, frankly, would tear this ship apart. And even long before it tore the ship apart, well, all of the meat in this ship would have been totally pulverized. No offense. Those two objects have now attached themselves to our hull near the engine section. Near as we can determine.
We've got space stowaways.
That's a very good way of putting it, Glitch. My guess is perhaps some sort of sentry system for whatever it is that we are approaching, but it is hard to say what.
Did we detect anything organic about it?
Really, we only have a blip, and he sort of makes a gesture and goes over the table, types in a few commands, and a replay of all of the data that they have kind of comes up in a holographic volumetric projection. There's a little bit of video, but it's grainy and quick. It's literally only a seconds long, and you just see a big flare of energy and then nothing. And there's a few other readings. Everything would be consistent with not organic, but something either like rock or metal, that sort of thing. And not very big, probably only about the size of a very small car. Like a Smart 4.2 or something.
And is there a way to access the area that they've attached to?
There is, although it does mean going out onto the hull in suits. The closest airlock is about 100 meters from where the nearest object appears to have attached itself.
Right.
So
I'm going to go suit up, and
Yep.
Marcus is just going to start walking.
Yeah, I'll go with. So we just need to get rid of whatever's trying to hitchhike. Got it. And then got to follow Marcus.
I have to say that I woke you up as soon as possible. We have not yet put out any sort of probes or investigations of that sort, but they're in blind spots and my external sensors are unable to detect them because we didn't, build the sensors to scan the damn ship. Bit of an oversight, that.
How long have they been attached to us?
Well, I initiated the wake-up protocol as quickly as possible. Nevertheless, it still takes a time. They've been attached for about, an hour or so now.
Has there been any activity sort of since they attached, or have they just been hanging on?
Not that any of the sensors have detected.
Well, I guess I'm going to go do what I was hired to do. And I am going to go after Marcus and see what's out there.
Okay.
Did Natasha go out there too? Natasha did go out there. Okay, so I'm going with the two of them.
I want to go towards, you said that they connected near the engines, right?
Yes. Yep. Back in the engine section.
That's where I want to go, but
Okay.
inside.
Yeah. All right.
Frank, do you mind if I mess with I don't know, try to get a closer reading on him?
by all means, Glitch, this is your area of expertise. So if you would like to see what you managed to do from the sensors that I was unable to, please do.
I'm going to try to sit down, I guess, and try to re-angle the sensors, try to focus in on maybe the compounds that we did detect and sort of focus the sensors on that, just see if we can get any sort of better understanding before they go out into space and talk to it.
Okay, we'll circle back on that on a minute, because that sounds like a good opportunity to actually do some cipher rolls and let Glitch do his thing with the sensors. But we'll quickly check in with Metzley and see what she is doing.
Well, no one wants to talk about their feelings. And no one's injured. So I am not the most useful in this situation. But I'm curious. How far are we from where like our storage lockers would be? Like our main, where we would have our equipment, and how far are we from that?
Not very far. I mean, the ship is big, but it's still actually kind of small. Most of the ship is taken up by engines. Probably like 3/4 of the mass of the ship is just this massive engines on the back. So everything else is kind of relative. So it's pretty quick. You can get there pretty quickly.
Okay. I would like to make my way there and grab a notebook and a cigarette, which I will promptly light because I either have a cigarette or tea in my hand, and currently I don't have time to make tea. And I'll probably go towards where everyone is trying to go out the airlock for moral support.
Hey,
All right.
Dan,
Yes.
would it be possible if I had seen, is it Ava or Eva?
E with an E.
Eva, if I had seen her starting to go towards the hole on the inside, then I might have like sidled away and gone with her instead.
Sure. Yeah.
Is that all right?
Yeah. Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm imagining as Metzley, so like basically all of you are going the same direction, and you're only detouring like at the last little bit. Marcus and Natasha going to an airlock that will lead to the outside, and everyone else kind of clustered around, except for Glitch, who's basically staying in the command center. I could also imagine, because Metzley's insisting on smoking in a spaceship, that this has totally already been accounted for, and Frank has like a little like drone with a fan that just follows her and sucks up smoke. He's basically like just already sent it out to accompany her. It's like a stray dog that exists eating her smoke. All right, so everyone else sort of goes and starts getting ready. Yes, with an emergency fire suppressive system as well. And it is appropriately entitled just the Smoke Eater. So as you all make your way down and sort of prep and get your things, let's go back to Glitch, who is working on the sensor systems.
Well, so the first thing I would do, now that they've all left the command center, is log back into the system and turn on some, and this is my favorite science fiction joke, classical music.
Yep.
So
so by that do we mean that Glitch says play something classical and like the Beastie Boys comes on?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah. Perfect. So Glitch is rocking out to Fight for Your Right to Party going on in the command hub.
And then I would try to like redirect the sensors. I mean, they said they got a small bead on it that they were able to determine it's not organic. Is there any reading on what sort of what is it? Is it carbon based? Did we get any sort of, atomical makeup, anything like that in our quick
Yeah,
reading
yeah.
that I could sort of hone in on?
Sure. So the preliminary analysis that sort of is done by the computer system and by Frank comes up, and it's all your standard stuff, right? Like iron, nickel, the kinds of thing you would expect in a very rocky asteroid. There's some signatures of water, oxygen, all of that sort of thing in small amounts. But there are a few compounds that come up as unknown.
I want to see if I can hone the sensors in on those unknown compounds. Try to get a better read on it.
Okay.
If it's focused in.
Yeah, sure. So the difficulty here is that the sensors are sort of all angled, like physically, to sort of scan the environment around the ship, and not very well optimized to scan along the ship, except for some key parts. So it'll be a matter of, pushing this physical sensor and this physical sensor and like this physical sensor to like extremes of their orientations and see if you can tease out little bits of signal. So this is going to be, let's put this at, it's going to start out at quite difficult, right? So it's going to start out as like a level 6 challenge. So that would set the, DC, for lack of a better word, the target number, to an 18. So not impossible unaided, but very, very unlikely, very challenging. But you presumably have some skills that will come into play here.
Hopefully. Focusing on, the physical makeup of a thing, weird science knowledge is one of my skills. It's this weird science.
Oh, yes. Okay. Weird science knowledge is indeed one of your skills. So that sounds perfect. So you're trained in that. Okay, that sounds good. So that will reduce it to a 5. And this is probably a great time to spend some effort.
Yeah.
So you can spend a level of effort from your intellect pool. So you have an edge there of 1. So it'll cost you 2 points.
Okay.
To reduce that down to a 4.
Got it.
All right. So you're looking at needing a 12 or higher on your D20 roll.
I'm just going to roll that. Sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
Ha! It's a 1. Great start.
All right. So a 1 is going to
GM
trigger a
intrusion.
GM intrusion.
Great
all right.
start.
So, yeah. So you're pushing these sensors, right, to get, you're pushing them. You had to put in some overrides, like on the safety systems. Like it's not meant to move that far. Like the dish is rotating to its very, end point and then a little bit beyond. And there is like an alarm that goes off as basically one of those, mini sensors, but one of the sensors that has a spectroscope actually breaks. Like a gimbal sort of goes. There's a little bit of a fire that happens outside the ship. Quickly goes out because it doesn't have much oxygen. But that sensor is heavily damaged and would need repair. Frank sort of just goes, yes, those safety settings are standard protocol.
And I knew those were there. I did. But
quite all right. We've got chances are we're gonna have to do repairs on the hull anyway when we scrape off the space scum that has accumulated. So I'm sure that someone won't mind a little trip outside for repairs.
Is that someone me? Am I gonna have to do it because I broke it? Is that what you're telling me?
Well, there is some expression I've heard. You break it, you bought it.
Well, that's new on me too. But that's,
Yeah.
I mean, those sound right. They same letter B.
You are also the most qualified to repair it.
Right. Yes, I am. Yes, that's my job. Do you want your job back? You can have your seat. I'm gonna go see what everyone else is doing.
I'm good standing, but thank you very much.
Cool. I'm gonna just see you later. I'm gonna fix it anyway, so you don't have to tell them that I broke it. It's just
It'll be our little secret glitch. And it sort of, like, because its face isn't really a human face. It's firmly in the uncanny valley. Very much like the robots in iRobot. Like, kind of smooth. But there is the subtle indentations. But it still clearly, like, winks at you a little sarcastically.
cool. Yeah. And then I go.
All right. So catching up with Marcus and Natasha, who are at this point busy in the airlock, I imagine, putting on your EVA suits. How else are you getting ready?
I'm gonna bring, if I can, I'm gonna try and bring something to collect the sample of whatever tried to hitch a ride with us.
Yep. There's a full suite at various places like tool shops and scientific suites and things like that with all sorts of instruments that are intended to like drill into rock and take samples and all of that sort of thing. So you could get some sort of multi-tool essentially. Drill, no mining laser. It's not No Man's Sky, but to sample with.
I'm going to bring some localized charges just in case I need to blow it off the ship.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a full supply of essentially mining charges, like shaped mining charges.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I imagine you've got mag boots, basically, for walking on the outside of the ship.
The Expanse style mag boots.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You got to do the heel clunk clunk.
Gotta do the Wizard of Oz heel click for the do.
That's right. You got to activate them.
I might also. Is there a? Have we got cables and stuff to connect us to the airlock on the backs of our suits?
Oh, yeah, you can have tethers and all that sort of thing.
I feel like tethers is a good shout when you're in the middle of space.
Yeah, like you're decelerating, but you're still probably going like tens of thousands of kilometers an hour.
We're fine. This is fine.
I'm sure we've got some sort of like windshield or something that's so we're not completely just ripped off our feet.
Well, the great thing is it's space, so there's no like it doesn't matter how fast you're going, right? When you're standing outside, it's all good.
Otherwise, Natasha and Marcus's story is going to end real quickly.
Marcus is just going to like look over Natasha's suit and just go, and like pop it open.
Just going to go nod back.
All right. So yeah, you get all suited up and get out and everything else. And yeah, so you can cycle through the airlock and reach the outside fairly easily. So the three that are staying inside, so Billy, Eva, and Metzley.
I guess I'm technically leading the charge. I kind of turn because Dr. Metzley, you went to go elsewhere and are meeting us there, right?
Yeah, I just took a short detour. Yeah.
Okay.
Grab your med kit.
just in case. Well, then, since Billy is with me as we're kind of hurriedly walking to wherever this is, I'll say to her, "There's not supposed to be anything out here, is there?"
I think that depends on who you ask.
I'm asking you.
I don't know. But something came out from here somewhere. And I think it would be silly of us to think that we're the only ones in the universe.
Right. Okay.
I'm not sure that science is going to save us out here.
That's very optimistic of you.
Well, it's not really optimism, it's just realism. It's a dangerous mission. But we all have our specialties. We're all here for reasons. We'll be okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure we'll be fine.
We might
Sure, it's-
not be, but we'll have each other.
See, I was almost there with you for just a brief moment.
Well, you know, I can only do so much.
And then when we go there, and I don't talk anymore because this is bleak as hell.
Yeah, right.
I've learned my lesson.
It's retreading all of the things you had spent in years of training together.
Yep.
All right. Metzley, when you had your little detour, is there anything in particular you were fetching from your belongings?
Let's see. I'd definitely grab a med kit. Definitely grab a pack of cigarettes and a lighter. Think about the tea. Think better of the tea. There's a better place and time for the tea. And then I would have headed after Eva and Billy.
Yep.
With a notebook in hand, just kind of looking over anything from training notes or my personal notes, and catch up to them.
All right. Okay, so on the exterior of the ship, Natasha and Marcus, you're sort of making your way back towards the area where it was indicated, and where these objects might be is, within a, standard distribution and probability curve of where it's actually located, given the restrictions of the sensors. They're fairly far apart from one another, so are one of you going to each one, or are you going to stick together and just go to the nearest?
Nearest.
I go to the other one.
Okay.
All right. So Natasha, you're walking a little bit further. You kind of sort of vector out in opposite directions. So Marcus is going to get probably to his first. But let's see. So there's probably going to be a perception-related task here. The exterior of the ship is not smooth. There's all kinds of tubing and protrusions from these fantastically advanced engines, plus all the sensors and everything that are studded off of it. And this thing wasn't made to go in atmosphere anyway, so who needs, a smooth outer carapace?
Yeah. Luckily, I'm trained in perception. That's one of my skills.
Perfect. So I'm going to say this is probably not going to be super hard for visual perception. Let's call this a level 4 challenge.
Okay. So drop it down to a 3, and then if I spend effort, which pool?
Intellect.
Intellect, so that'd be a drop 3. I'm gonna spend it.
Perfect.
So drop it down to a 2. Oh, hey, Scraticus.
Thank you so much, Scraticus, for the raid. Welcome,
Yes.
everybody. For those of you just joining us, this is the premiere of Project VHS here on Variant Rolls. This is a Cypher System game, and it is Occult Horror in Space. And our fine folks are currently investigating some stowaways that have attached onto their ship out on the edge of the solar system in the Oort cloud.
That's an 18 on the die. So
That's an 18. Excellent. So you have no problem. You're scanning. You have your, advanced sensors up and all that sort of thing. And what you see is a hump of irregularly shaped, what appears to be rock. Like, it looks pretty much like an asteroid, but, a small meteoroid, essentially, about the size of a smart car. And it appears to be sort of nestled in this little valley of protrusions on the engine section of the ship. No
Okay.
lights, nothing like that. It's kind of just smooth and dark.
Do we have radios that we can communicate with?
Absolutely. Yep.
And do we possibly have like suit cameras that?
Yeah. Oh,
For the
yeah.
back end.
Absolutely. Yeah. You get your body cameras. Actually,
Yeah.
it's probably like
helmet cam.
mounted. So
Yeah.
it's kind of POV. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just gonna like click on my radio. I'm at object 1. Clicking on camera. See what you guys find. I just start walking the perimeter of this object, kind of trying to get a full 360 view of it, sending that back inside to everybody.
Okay. So Natasha, let's similarly see how quickly you manage to find your object. So it takes you a little bit longer to get there, but similarly, this is a level 4 perception related task.
Okay. I wonder if I can use something. Can I use it's only a level 4. I have something called Find the Way, which is when you apply effort to a navigation task because you don't know the way, you can apply a free level of effort.
Okay. Yeah. No, that sounds great. So that means if it's a free level of effort, it doesn't cost you any points, and it doesn't count towards your limit. So you can essentially spend 2 levels of effort there.
Excellent.
And otherwise, I don't think you have any other sort of navigation or perception related skills. So,
I'm a cartographer, but I don't have the navigation skills.
That's right. Okay, so Find the Way sounds good. So that's a free level of effort. So that's the same as having a skill. Brings it down to from a 4 to a 3. And if you wish, you could spend 3 more points from your intellect pool to apply an actual level of effort, which would bring it down to a 2.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. So then we're just looking for a 6 or higher on that D20 roll.
I got a 20. It means nothing in Cypher, but I got a... Oh, no,
Well,
it does.
It does. It's a crit success, although often it provides just like an effect, right? And yours, because you bear a halo of fire. Basically, the most logical explanation is, despite it being further away, you actually get there quicker. So you actually find your object before Marcus does. So when Marcus clicks on his cam and starts sending you over video, like a fraction of a second before he does, you're already there.
I'm already leaning down and going, long shot at site 2, broadcasting video, and there is yours.
Do we, as crew, have a way to see those videos on our person? Or do we have to be at a
probably.
terminal?
Yeah,
little space tablets.
Yes, although remember that the networking is somewhat limited, so it depends on what you're transmitting. But I think this sort of thing is considered not super secure anyway, so it's the kind of thing that you can broadcast around freely.
I will just stop in the middle of the hallway once the video pops up, just wherever I am.
I'll pop it up as we're walking to the other side of one of these things.
Yeah. So both of what they're showing you is basically what looks like a lump of rock just wedged in on the hull.
Mr. Marcus, do you see any sign of activity? Any glowing lights, or is it humming?
Well, like, reach out and touch it.
So you put your hand on it. I mean, you've got like a thick suit on in its space. So as you do, the first thing you notice is actually a little bit of ice kind of like flakes off the outside and sort of drifts disturbed. And even through your glove, it feels, even though like this ice flaked off, there's a little bit of warmth to it. Like it's still cold, but just given the like temperature differentials, you can feel there's a little bit of sort of residual something there.
Okay. Getting some temporal feedback. Yeah, it's warm.
I'll
Warm as in it's above absolute zero.
Yeah.
that might be from how it accelerated and got on our ship so quick. Is there any sort of engine or any sign of how it went from there to here?
You're seeing what I'm seeing.
Well, look closer.
Marcus grumbles something unintelligible and then just starts like getting down and like trying to look underneath it.
As he was doing that, I was gonna say, hey, Kane, can you see where it entered the ship? If there's anything weird there? As I'm trying to get to where it like hit the ship.
I'll try and look for, this is me just verbalizing. Can I look and see if it's attached to this ship anywhere? Apart from, is there a specific point where it's like latched on?
Yeah, so when you're, I mean, it looks otherwise, at least to you, just like any other section of hull. You know, probably what every little like bit of like radiator fin and things like that here does was like covered in a class during your training, but like that was boring shit. Well, although you're a pilot, so that's actually probably not true. So yeah, it appears to be nestled just between these like heat radiators that radiate heat off of the engine, and yeah.
Hey, Hatsi? Where did that other rock land?
What do you mean?
Is it by any heat sources?
Do I see any?
So now that you look closer, it's sort of nestled in between these radiators.
Yeah. Why?
Don't worry about it.
That
Ava?
always makes me worry.
Oh wait, is Ava a doctor too?
Technically.
Okay.
I'm not a doctor. I mean, I am a doctor, but not that kind of doctor.
You still have a doctorate, so.
I am a doctor.
I'm sorry. It's like, I'm sorry. What's the I'm not a doctor, but I am a doctor. Dr. Delgado, I think it's seeking out heat sources. Hatsi said the inside of it was warm.
Thank you. That's not very comforting, but thank you.
I mean, it might just be heat sensing, in which case it's not actually as smart as it could have been.
It's efficient.
Or it's
Yes.
growing something.
I would like to mention that we are all also much warmer than many things in space.
Well,
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend touching it at all, in case it recognizes you as an organic material and tries to attach itself. I say, not knowing Hatsi has touched it, but just
It's
very
fine.
big, like.
It's just, you just hear a faint, it's fine. And just.
Can I try to take a sample of the rock as well?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, Frank. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, you go.
I was just gonna. Hey, Frank.
Yes, Marcus?
Sorry. Let me think about this. Localize turning off the radiators that they're near. Maybe detach them. If there's no heat there, maybe they'll fall.
Can try that, sure. I've got your location marked now. I can see those radiators. Turning off those fins, although it'd be some time.
It's fine.
Let me know if you see any changes.
Frank,
Yeah.
do we have
Glitch.
something hotter than radiators that we could release?
Have you seen?
Well, the
Occult?
objects did pass, and of course, like from like where they exited and past the objects, there's more bulk of this engine. And like Marcus and Natasha's like, visors need to shield themselves against the massive glare of the engines because they're under full burn, decelerating. So, because the engines are actually now at this point pointed towards where you're going, right? As it decelerates. So Frank just gives like a smart ass remark about how the objects bypass those big flaming multi-million degree engines for a lesser heat source.
Well, thank you, Frank.
But to answer otherwise, Glitch, there's nothing else of any significant heat. But there are many, many of these radiator fins.
Have we made it into the interior chambers of the ship?
Yeah. So,
okay, cool, because I really want to know what's there.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you're basically in probably just like a section off of the main engine rooms. The engine rooms are huge. So, and like, the radiator fins and coolant, all that stuff goes like way out past the core of your fusion reactor. So you're on this like external cargo room essentially that has spare parts for your engine prefabricated. There's some, cooling pipes that then go out through and presumably out onto the exterior of the hull. So this is sort of underneath where they would be. At least at a cursory glance, there doesn't appear to be anything. They haven't penetrated through the hull. They seem to just be attached on the outside.
I'll relay to those who are not here. It looks like they didn't make it through the hall, at least not where I'm at. So that's good.
While we're in here, I would like to use my sense magic ability.
Okay. All right.
Which says that you can sense whether the supernatural is active in situations where its presence is not obvious.
Okay.
You must study an object or location closely for a minute to get a feel for whether a mystical touch is at work. I am also trained in the supernatural.
Okay. Excellent. All right. So, what does this look like when you spend a minute sort of attuning yourself to see if those witchy vibes?
Yes. I think that for Billy, there's kind of like two ways that she likes to do it. One is like actually like kind of running her hands along the wall and like literally like around the perimeter. But I think that she's a little cautious right now. So I think that she's kind of just gonna like hold her hands up and kind of like move them around, but study with her eyes very closely, like just scanning everything in here to try to get a feel for a literal feel.
Okay.
But to Eva, it just sort of looks like I'm a mime inside of a box right now when it's really be like drawing runes in the air with my arms.
After about 10 seconds of watching you, Eva is just like, God, you're strange.
Yeah, but I have a PhD in this. So don't worry. We'll be okay.
All right. And so does that cost you anything?
It doesn't say it has a cost, so I'm wondering if it's actually a skill. I just didn't know where to put it.
All right, so let's take a quick look, because this will be in... Do you know the page reference offhand by any chance?
Oh my god, it's actually in Discord because I asked.
It's
Taryn
53.
about- yeah. Thank you, Taryn.
You're welcome.
Page 53?
Yep, it's under the mystical descriptor.
Okay. We'll just take a quick look.
Y'all, if you like this system, Monte Cook did just release a revised version of Cypher.
Revised Cypher System. And this is a
Go
chunky
get it.
book.
Go get it. It's the biggest one you'll ever need.
And tweet and tell them we sent you.
Yes.
It's very
Yeah,
heavy.
no, it's just a thing. It is just a thing you can do.
It's a nifty thing to have.
So I mean, you spend the time, you tune yourself to see if you pick up any witchy vibes, and nothing seems to trigger your spidey senses.
I think that I would probably then just relay to everybody. I don't really sense anything in here. At least nothing that's supernatural or strange yet.
Long shot, you got your sample.
Did I get my sample?
Yeah, you sort of drill into the rock, pull out like a sort of a core extract.
Positive.
Go ahead.
Oh no, Sarah. Positive. Sample received. Setting charges now.
You said that it's not like an identifiable thing right now, right? Like we can't tell what kind of rock this is. Is that accurate?
Well, so when Glitch looked over the readings, there was like a bunch of standard stuff that you would expect to find, and then a few like unidentified compounds.
Got it. Right. Okay.
To Billy, when Kane said that they were setting charges, kind of quietly, even though my comms aren't on. Listen, you said that, maybe it might not just be, just debris. Is it a good idea to just go like blowing it up if there's something in there?
No, it's not. It's not a good idea. But the reality is that we don't know what it is, so trying to blow it up. I mean, if anybody's ever read a book ever, usually doesn't end well for the crew. But here we are.
Hey, Kane.
There's a cut to the outside as Natasha's planting explosive
Marcus has
charges
been
on
like
the rock.
strategically placing them like around the parts where it's wedged so that they blow and hopefully it like the force sends it up.
Yeah, Dr. Delgado?
Maybe wait on the explosion until we see what these are made of. Because if it has explosive qualities to it, that would be bad. Right?
I mean, if we seal the rooms which they're attached to and then blow them, anything that gets locked in the vacuum will just be sealed off.
What do you do if you release something? I have comms on me, but I'm like leaning over to Eva and I'm like trying to talk through her microphone.
I like to think that Billy's equipment has a little bit of like static to it all the time, just like
Yes.
because of her
Yep.
connection to the occult. It's just like something's a little off.
That's right.
occasionally something screams.
Yes.
We all got tired of it.
It's like there's like a
Turn
note
down.
There's like a note in the mess that's like, "Don't let Billy use her comms."
Yes.
Or the microwave for
Or
reasons
the
we don't talk
microwave.
about.
Or the coffee machine, because that is sacred.
Yeah. But so if we're not blowing this, what are we doing?
I mean, I would love to keep one.
Nope.
No,
I mean,
Nope.
no.
It's a threat. It's
we don't know it's a threat. All
It
we
could
know
just
is
be
it's
space debris.
it's the first sign of what we're looking for. I would like to keep it.
Frank, play back the thing you told us about how they approached the ship.
And there's like a feed that sort of hits your suit cams and like the nearest screen to where everybody is and shows like just nothing because it's not sort of picked up on sensors. But there's like some annotations where the computer has estimated like this is where it must have been, and there's just like a flare of energy is like, you know, some sort of engine kicks on, and there's like a crazy maneuver, and then they disappear off sensors. They're only on sensors for about like 2 seconds.
Okay, listen. If this is something that is trying in its weird way to talk to us and we just blow it up, that's going to be really bad for our, first point of contact.
I am, in fact, in agreement there with Dr. Delgado. Also, I'd just like to remind everyone you're all doing fantastic and wonderful.
Time and place.
I
I'm
just
just
want everyone to
turning
know.
Dr. Flores' calm down. Just like,
So
listen, whatever this is, it's attached itself and it's looking for a heat source.
this
Ah.
is a tag. This is not a greeting.
I'm sorry. Where is your evidence for that, Marcus?
The fact that it's attached itself to our ship.
When you meet someone else, don't you attach your hand to their hand and then you shake it?
No, never.
Okay, well, in many societies, that's considered a greeting.
I don't want this on the side of our ship. If they want to make contact again, they can do it later. For now, I'm not letting an organic compound spread across our ship without knowing what it is. I've taken a sample, and now I'm going to blow it up.
How about compromise? Don't blow it up, blow it off. Like, can we, make it so it doesn't explode, but it's not attached anymore so that they're not really mad in case they are things that have feelings.
Agreed.
Unlike anyone on this ship.
I can compromise with that glitch.
But as security officer, I have to formally make a statement that this feels like a threat, not a greeting.
Hey, Frank, will you just play some Johnny Cash on his
Frank,
comms?
please.
Calm him down, please.
Please don't play Johnny Cash. Please.
Just his.
There's always feedback. There's always feedback.
Sorry.
Marcus has just like turned off his comms at this point.
Frank is humming Burning Ring of Fire.
Of course he is. It's not ominous.
So there were two of them, right? So Eva and I walked to where one of them attached.
Yes.
How far away is the other one?
Is it on the other side of the other engine room?
Absolutely.
I would love to go there with my best friend, Billy, and also Dr. Metzel, who's probably here by now.
I will meet them there.
Yeah, I feel like Meztli, seeing that Eva and Billy had that one handled, would have started going towards the other one.
Okay, sure. And so similarly, you've entered into sort of one of these nondescript storage rooms that's part of the overall engine compartment. And at least a cursory glance, nothing appears to be different than what you would expect the room to look like. The same when Glitch enters. Eva and Billy, you have two routes you could go. You can go the normal route, which sort of goes back out, sort of out of the engine room, and like out of the engine compartment, or almost all the way out, and then back down the other side. Or there's the shortcut. The shortcut goes into the reactor room.
Oh, yeah.
Now,
Oh,
not
okay.
like literally into the like shielded area where the fusion reaction is happening, but like into like that outer space that surrounds the reaction chamber.
Yep.
And it will cut straight through.
Mhm.
It is much shorter,
Yeah.
but it is sort of considered a security thing to, enter and leave the reactor room.
I would probably go in, kind of, before I open the door, just kind of stub out my cigarette on the nearest like wall and give the butt to Smokey and cut through there.
Oh, so you because you were coming from the other direction and went straight
Yeah.
there, you're fine. This is like where
Oh.
Eva and Billy were sort of
Oh.
on the other
My
side.
bad. I
That's
wanted to
okay.
go in the react.
We'll let you know what we find. So I think in a normal situation, Eva would not go this route. They have a little bit more self-preservation.
It's okay.
But
I'll protect you.
Here's the thing. Because they're with Billy, and also because they feel like time is very much of the essence before these things just like either blow up or blow out into space. She will go through she'll go through the reactor.
Okay. So you have to put in a security code. There's like not quite an airlock, but almost like an interior airlock that you have to sort of cycle through to go into the reactor room. And you have to repeat the process to get out on the other side. But it sort of hisses open, and the reactor room is initially dark. There's no lights on, and then a few just click on as you're entering. And the reaction chamber is basically a large black sphere that sort of, it could almost be described as floating in the middle of the room, but it has like tubes and struts that are actually like anchoring it to the wall. So it's not like hovering, it's elevated. The sphere itself doesn't touch any of the walls, and it has these conduits and everything going into it. And it is utterly black, like the outside of this sphere, and faintly reflective. The lights kind of glimmer off of it a little bit. And why don't you go ahead and make a perception-related task for me, Eva and Billy. The challenge here is going to be hidden, so you don't know what the challenge is.
Okay. So when you say like a perception related task,
Yes,
do you mean I pick something of mine that is related to looking?
that's right. So if you
Okay.
have do you have any skills or abilities, like passive, so like skills in this case, that apply to like being aware of your surroundings, that sort of thing?
Well, I haven't gone all the way through like my actual skills because it was so broad that I wasn't sure which to go with. I do have my supernatural skill, which is that I'm trained in all actions involving identifying or understanding the supernatural. I don't know if the supernatural is in here, obviously.
Right.
But I feel like also just with my background, I would have some sort of skill related to looking for things.
Yeah, okay, sure.
I would argue the same thing because I have something that's because I have a thing that makes me trained in any task that involves learning something, but I think it's specifically for like history based.
You also have danger sense.
I also have danger sense.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, danger sense is you are trained in sensing danger.
Since I'm always scared of everything.
Yeah, so you absolutely have that. So I think both of you have like one thing to aid you. So that will reduce the challenge by one step.
Okay.
And if you want to spend intellect to sort of be like, I'm going through with a lot of awareness as I'm cutting through the reactor room, then you could spend a level of effort by spending from your intellect pool. So
And if you
3
have
points.
an edge, You
Yep.
essentially get
So-
one free.
No. So in this case, so the way Edge works is it subtracts off of whatever you're spending total, right?
Okay.
So you're only spending, so it costs 3 points from your pool to spend a level of effort. So your Edge will subtract off of that because your Edge is in intellect. So it'll cost you 2 as opposed to 3.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to do the same.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And then just let me know what you get on those D20 rolls.
Oh boy. Oh, not 175. God, I want to take that 7 out. Okay. Sorry, I just got a really big brain all of a sudden. Oh, I got a 20.
Okay.
Oh, I got an 18.
Okay. So as you're going through, both of you out of the corner of your eye
Oh, no.
sort of catch a glimpse near the ceiling where one of these struts that anchors the reactor in is. And there's a little glimmer of almost like a silvery grayish thread that just catches the eye. And as you look at it, it's just like a tendril, almost like a root tendril. And it is growing. It is slowly inching its way down this strut.
Billy, that's not normal.
No, but isn't it beautiful?
Not in its current trajectory, it's not.
Okay. Well, that's fair. Should we
And it's only growing at the rate of like a centimeter a minute or so. Like it's fairly slow.
Okay, Eva,
Mm-hmm.
I know this is an uncomfortable moment, perhaps for both of us, but don't tell Marcus yet. Just give us a
Don't
second
worry.
here.
I won't tell the one who wants to just blow things up that we
Well,
have something in our reactor
Yeah, that's
area.
growing. Do you see it? It's
I-
moving.
I'm trying not to.
And you also, at this point, like once you looked and saw this one on like one strut on one side of the room, there's another one growing. So like opposite sides of the engine, sort of in the direction of these two rocks. And there's this like slow gray metallic root-like tendril sort of slithering its way, growing. And you can see it's fractaling. So like a tendril, it's branching to multiple
vein?
endpoints. Yeah.
or a web. Okay, is there a way for me to to do we have any like I want to record this thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm sure like, you know, this is 2082. So, you know,
Get out my little
your Google Glass, click.
Yes, because I do wear glasses. Yes, I do. Haha.
Yeah, so there's all sorts of however you want to have a camera, like a personal recording device is pretty easy.
100%. Yeah, I'll just have it affixed to my spectacles so that it sees what I see, essentially. Yeah, and I'm gonna make sure that I record this, but it's a personal recording. It is not broadcast to the rest of the ship. Just yeah.
Right. Okay.
And how far away are the tendrils from where we stand?
Pretty far. This is a fairly big room. So it would probably be like above you a good, 30 feet or something.
So would you consider it like within long range of perhaps an ability of mine?
Yes, it would.
It would
actually be, it'd be shorter than that. It would be
Okay.
within, I think it's short range. It's like the medium range.
Okay. Well, I would like to use my far step ability so that I
All
can
right.
leap through the air and land some distance away.
That's right. Okay. So we've determined, of course, at this point in the adventure, most of the things these folks can do are not overtly magical. They're aided by technology
Yeah.
in some fashion. So you've got like basically some sort of gadget, like rocket boot sort of
Yeah, I was
thing.
thinking that like I've got these like combat boots on that sort
Yeah.
of are a little bit higher than normal, and they kind of aid in like a little boosty.
Yeah, and it's probably not like a rocket because that'd be super dangerous on an enclosed ship in space.
Ooh.
But yeah, some sort of weird electromechanical thing that lets you jump a great distance.
Yeah. And that
Okay.
costs 2 intellect.
So
Yes.
while this is going on,
Yes, while this is all going on, what's happening on the outside of the ship?
long shot, your charge is cleared.
Charges are cleared.
Let's get back to the airlock and I don't care what they say. Blow this shit.
This is Longshot transmitting to the Erebus. Please clear the rooms which the charges are locked in, or you will be launched out into space.
Well, we're hoping not to blow the actual
Oh.
hull.
Oh, we've not blown the hole? Okay. Ignore that. Retconning my thing. Then we walk back.
Yeah, I think Frank would have had something to say about blowing
Yeah.
a hole in the hull.
No, it wasn't. It was
Yeah,
more of
that's
like
fine.
a propulsion sort of setup, so like anchoring them below so that
Yeah.
the charge
See, they're fine. They're fine.
knock it off, basically.
Yeah. All right. So the two of you. So Natasha, you were originally placing your charges basically on the object to blow it up. Are you like moving them to match Marcus's, like to sort of be shape charges that blow it off with like minimal damage to the hull?
Yeah, I'll change to that.
Okay.
Natasha's
so-
about halfway and just like turns around and goes back.
Natasha
Okay.
Natasha sets it, goes halfway, and is like, I hate this so much, and then goes back and changes it.
Okay. So we've got that happening. Now, Glitch, you're on the inside manning the comms, and you've got access to all the ship's schematics, and you're sort of the engineering expert. Are you helping them in any way, like while they're placing charges?
Yes. But I'm being an asshole about it.
I love it. I'm here for it. How are you being an asshole about it?
Mr. Marcus?
Mhm.
Yeah, you
Kashi?
move that one like 3 inches to the right. If you leave it where it is, it's gonna puncture the whole. Just like there's a weak point there, so just 3 inches to the right, if you can.
I feel like you're messing with me, but I don't know enough to disagree and just move in.
No, the other one, not that one. That one was fine. Put that one back. It's the other one.
That's what I thought. Just slowly follow directions.
Before Natasha finishes hers, I'll just be like, Natasha, yours are perfect.
Thanks, Glitch.
Okay. All right. So, I think for the two of you, this is actually a pretty challenging thing to do, right? To place explosives to blow something off the hull while ideally not damaging the ship.
Yeah.
All right. So Marcus and Natasha, should one or both of you have skills related to like demolitions or explosives in your skill set?
I think Marcus would, just because background, military, that kind of stuff, just has been around them a lot.
Yeah. All right. So, and for our audience who's watching, like we've already talked. We didn't put all these on the sheet, but we've talked how all of these characters are very skilled beyond even a standard starting Cypher character. So they do have extra skills, and sometimes the easiest way is to flesh those out as the opportunity arises. So, Marcus, why don't you go ahead and put, like, I think demolitions as the skill? And do you want to be trained or specialized?
You know what? Let's specialize.
Okay. And
I put demolition.
demon lotion is how it came up on the web capture. There's been some great ones if you
I
go
know.
back and watch.
Yeah, and that's probably an intellect stat. Intellect
Yes, that would
skill.
be intellect. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. And Natasha, what about you?
I was thinking I don't know if I'd have. Natasha did run with merc ships, so she might have picked up certain skills from that, and pilot-wise, she'd know the weak points of the ship when not to place charges that might damage the hull. Natasha's
Okay.
only concern is not damaging the ship.
Okay. So if you wanted to, you could have your skill be in like ship engineering or something like that.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. All right. And you think skilled or specialized? Specialist would be more like someone who's like they're a damn expert on like ship hulls.
Yeah, I think I'll just go skilled.
Okay.
I don't know how to spell engineer. It's a very good start.
All right. So this is relatively challenging. I'm going to say this is like a difficulty level 6 to pull off. So let's do Marcus's first. So you're specialized, so you get 2 levels of skill. So that brings it down to a 4.
Mm-hmm.
You have an asset because Glitch is helping you, even though he is being an asshole about it.
Jerk about it.
I'm helpful, just also a jerk, but mostly helpful.
Yeah. And he's helping you because Glitch, you should give yourself probably a specialization in like ship engineering.
Oh, okay, cool.
You're next to Frank and the captain. You probably know more about this ship. You and Natasha, because Natasha's a pilot. Yeah.
Okay, so that's specialization, asset, and then I might as well spend an effort. So
Yeah.
and I'm probably going to need to take a rest action. Make
So
sure I
that'll bring
don't
it down.
completely destroy my intellect pool.
So that'll bring it down to a 2.
Yep. And that's a
you only
14.
need 6 or higher. Okay, so your charges are set great. So now let's look at Natasha's. So similarly, it's a level 6. Natasha, you have a level of skill. And you have the help of Glitch. So that's 2 steps. So we're down to a 4. And would you like to spend a level of effort from your intellect?
Yes, my dog is just currently barking, so enjoy the sounds of the void viciously barking at us as we try and do our work. This is Glitch's classical music.
All right.
Yes, I would like to spend an effort.
Okay, so you spend 3 points from your intellect pool.
Cool.
And so that will bring us down to a 3. So you just need a 9 or higher on your d20 roll.
Okay. I got exactly a 9.
Okay. So both of you placed your charges perfectly. And when they go off, there's not no hull damage, but it's minimal. Like those radiators blow off and like a few other things. There's a little bit of venting from the ship, but I'm assuming you both have like emergency repair type stuff that you can do, emergency patches on the hull. And these 2, egg-shaped sort of lumps of rock get blown off and are going faster than the ship. So they get blown off and back and sort of go ahead of you and appear to like flare as they get into the cone of fire that's lancing ahead of you from the decelerating ship and burn up. But you did see this like mass of silvery sort of tendrils like drifting behind them, almost like a jellyfish, as they raced away from you and before they burnt up.
Look at Natasha and just point.
That is why we get it off the ship.
Yeah, right
And
decision.
If I see this, can I try and zoom in with my cam to try and get a picture of it.
Yeah, you probably got like, because you were recording the whole time, so you can go back and manipulate that. Yeah, exactly.
Listen, I've been binge watching The Expanse. I don't like what this means.
I'm just gonna Mark's is gonna slowly raise his hand and just like high five Longshot.
Longshot is going to turn off her cam, high five, and then turn it back on.
All right. Okay, and the area underneath where these were attached, obviously there's like some damage from the explosives, but you can see that the metal of the hull was sort of warped and twisted and like melted a little bit underneath where they were, and like there's some holes, like puncture holes, going into the hull.
Not great. And I'm gonna like get a sample of the melted hull, I guess.
Yep. You're doing it.
Yeah.
Get a sample of the melted hull.
Yep. It's great. This is going great, y'all.
All right, perfect.
Glitch, this is Longshot.
Yeah.
Both hitchhikers are away.
Cool. Did you get a good shot of what they left behind? Did they leave anything behind?
They did a number on our hull, which first contact, not a great start. They also appear to have some sort of, I don't know what it was. It looks like tentacles. I'm sending you the recording now.
You're sending me a video of tentacles. Cool. Thank you very much.
You're
I'm
very
excited
welcome.
to watch that. Did you get me any samples?
I got you a
Chance?
I got you a sample of the rock.
Okay. Well, has anybody heard from Doctor and Doctor?
The doctors.
Doctor and doctors.
Doctor.
Doctor, and doctor.
Doctor.
Any of the doctors? I haven't heard from any of the doctors.
We're gonna have a serious talk about putting the mission first when we get back in. Marcus just gonna walk back to the airlock.
And Metzley, like, you've been in this like cargo bay expecting Eva and Billy to show up.
Mm-hmm. Sure have.
And then you heard like there was like the thump from above. Although maybe you evacuated the room when the explosion happened.
Yeah, I'm picturing just standing there smoking, just waiting, and then well, that's not great, and then just leave.
Because no one told you that they were going to set off
No one told me anything.
explosions
No,
above you
no.
in a spaceship.
You know, like you do. So over the comms, I'll just say, you know, I just want to commend everyone for keeping their composure in this extremely difficult time. If anyone needs to talk about it afterwards, or would like some one-on-one time, some alone time, some coping mechanisms, feel free to stop by wherever it is we go now. I assume I have an office. I want an office.
There's a med bay.
I demand an office.
I demand yeah, the med bay will be my office where all my books and we'll get there. Yeah, so I'll go head that way, assuming that everything is fine, because I am probably the only person on the ship who could not have done anything in that situation.
You had to be prepared for possible casualties.
I was so ready for that, and not just chilling and smoking and talking. I assume Smokey and I have a relationship at some point that I want to develop, but
it has to be kind of like R2, right? It sits there and like beeps at you a lot.
I feel like it would beep angrily if I like chain smoke.
Does it do the little beep, the BB-8 thing where it lights her cigarette for her with a little thumbs up?
Oh no.
I don't think it does. It cleans up after her, but it's not going to...
It's not there to encourage me.
It's not to encourage your habit.
I just, if it's not tea.
Doctor, I thought you were with the other two.
I thought they were coming to meet me as well, Glitch, but Dr. Dogato and Billy, I assume you don't like to be called doctor. What is your current status?
I have 2 questions.
Yep. For me or
for you? For you,
Ford?
for you, Sir Dan.
Yeah.
The first question: with us being this close to the reactor, do we have interference with our communications?
No.
Okay.
Cool. And I suppose if your personal ones, like there would be the like ship ones where you could go up to a panel and like hit an intercom kind of thing.
Okay. Second, when the leeches were detached from the ship, what happened to the things?
They wriggled a lot, and then at least like what you can see was not affected. So they like thrashed a little bit, and then they're still growing. And I forgot that Billy like jumped up and then like mag booted on top of this like strut and is all like 3-point landing in the the support infrastructure, and like this little wriggling tendril is like a foot from your face.
Perfect. I am going to put my hand out underneath where the y'all.
Billy, Billy.
It's okay. I've
It's
touched
not-
weirder.
I doubt it.
I'm gonna just. It's okay. I'm not.
No,
actually,
it's-
I'm just putting my hand. It's just
Yeah,
my hand. My
It's
hand.
yes, and it's attached to the rest of your body.
Yeah. It isn't your arm also attached to your body?
It's not attached to that.
It's not attached to me either yet. And I'm just gonna like put my hand underneath it so that where it's growing, it's gonna just.
I can't.
I'm not trying to invade
gonna,
its
like,
space. It's
yeah.
just gonna touch.
I can't.
So you're waiting for the tendril to touch you.
Correct.
Okay. All right.
God.
Like when there's like a caterpillar inching along
Yes.
and you put your hand to see if it'll
Yes.
crawl over.
Exactly.
Okay. So it does. It sort of starts sliding over your fingers and over your skin. And it's cool to the touch. Like it has a very metallic feeling to it. But at the same time, it's wriggling and writhing around like something that's alive in its movement. And you can feel these tiny prickles of almost like, you know, when someone moves their hand very, very close to your arm or something, and like those little hairs like stand up, and you can feel them getting like sort of brushed, right?
Mhm.
Just like, you know, it's that sort of feeling. Like tiny, tiny hairs walking across your skin. And it's like wriggling over and then back onto the metal, like on the other side, and still like fractaling off. So then these little fractal projections are like growing off. So you've got like a line across your hand, and then projections that start to worm out towards your fingers. And another
Billy.
one that starts to trace up your forearm.
Billy.
Eva,
This is not good. This is not good.
it's
This-
not anything right now,
Well-
actually.
Can you still move?
I'm gonna just really gently try to like move my hand.
Yeah, and it sort of slides, but the tendril sort of doesn't really like slide against your skin. It's kind of almost in place as your hand moves.
On me? Like
Yeah.
it moves with me? Oh,
Yeah.
boy.
Like it's stuck on your skin? Like it's implanted itself with your body?
But it feels almost just like when something is like stuck to it by like weight, or like that little bit of like electrostatic charge.
Okay. Okay. Eva.
Yes, Billy? Yes, Billy? What could be happening, Billy? Please tell me.
I mean, nothing's happening. I think we all need to just understand that nothing's happening right now.
I gesture wildly around us and I say, I don't think this is nothing.
Okay, but I feel like at this point, we maybe should let the rest of the crew know. Look, it's moving with me.
That's not good. That is not good.
But
Okay.
it's not bad. It's not anything right now. It's not doing anything.
Right now is a very key bunch of words that I'm gonna just start sharing the video feed that's been going this whole time. That's been recording, but now it's gonna be live. And I'll turn on my personal comm and say, hello everyone. This is the double doctor team in the reactor room. We got a little sidetracked and it appears that Billy has found something.
How does this make you feel, Marcus? Maybe we could talk to Dr. Flores about it.
Makes anyone feel better? This was not my idea.
I am sprinting over.
I think we all are. I'm like ripping the suit off.
Yeah, and as you're sprinting, like from the airlock, from the med bay, everywhere else, and as the feed rings out, Frank's voice comes over the feed, and he just says, "Containment protocols initiated." And there's, for Eva and Billy, the like big heavy doors that lead into the reactor room, there's just a thunk as they lock.
Billy, you were saying about telling everyone about this?
Well, I mean, Frank would have noticed it at some point. There's literally another thing in here.
Have Frank?
Yes, Glitch?
They're in there too, so...
Protocol is clear. Until this can be dealt with, we're going to have to make sure that neither one of them is carrying any sort of contaminant.
Well, Billy was clearly carrying something. Say that thing decides to be not so friendly. We can't help them.
Glitch, you're not helping me feel any better about this.
Protocol's in place. We have to follow protocol.
Marcus, you're also not helping.
Do we have to follow protocol?
Of mission protocol is clear. Protocol in this case can only be overridden by the express authorization of the remaining crew members.
I authorize it. Look, can we open the door, please?
I don't authorize it.
Yeah,
Dr.
let's get
Lawless
that
has
sample
something.
analyzed
Dr.
first.
Lawless- Yeah,
Marcus,
No.
check the air vents.
Got it.
Frank, seal off everything around it, air vents, everything. Make sure they have an oxygen supply, but everything else gets locked down.
Already done as part of protocol.
Thank you, Frank.
The fuck are you all doing?
Dr. Lawless has something attached to her arm right now.
I'm aware of that. I am in this room with her.
Okay, first of
We
all,
can get in supplies to you, of course. This is
Yep.
one of the reasons why the double door systems are in place.
I am going
I suggest
to...
we all start figuring out exactly how to neutralize this little contaminant.
I'm going
First
to
thing we can do.
move my hand
Yep.
away and like down just to see if it follows with me or if I can like slowly just move my hand away from it.
Okay. So you move your hand away and it's like kind of peeling off, sort of just like unsticking from itself. or unsticking from you, rather.
Well, we'll see, I guess.
But there is a little bit, like a little sort of prick of pain as it sort of peels away from your hand. And I am going to need you to make for me. I believe, and I get mixed up between Cypher and Invisible Sun now. It'd be the equivalent of, it's like the defense action that's going to trigger off of might and not speed.
Okay. Do I just roll?
So I'm just taking a look at your sheet, and so I don't think you're not trained in this. You don't have any relevant skill, but you can spend a level of effort from your might pool. So you can spend 3 points from your might pool to apply a level of effort to your resistance.
Yeah. Let's do it.
All right. And I'm gonna say the challenge. I guess the challenge in this case was hidden. You don't know how potent this root alien tendril thing is. So go ahead and let me know what you roll on the D20.
It's an 11.
All right, so you rolled an 11. So, okay. So that sort of peels off. There's a little bit of pain, like just a sharp little, almost like just like a pin prick. And when you look at the back of your hand, there's a teeny tiny drop of blood.
Oops.
Like, you know that your skin has been punctured, but it's a tiny little drop. And we'll let you decide on whether you inform anybody of that fact.
See, it's not attached to me at all. It is detached.
Cool. Do you
From my
want to
body.
maybe get down away from it?
I mean, I guess.
That
Again,
would be
nothing is happening.
Kane,
Preventative measures.
Yes, Glitch.
can you bring two suits to the reactor room?
Sure thing. Why?
Well, maybe it needs to breathe.
Sorry, but I doubt that.
Yeah,
Based on where it came from.
It was in space.
No one else has any plans.
I have been trying to suggest that we analyze the sample that we got from the rock.
My plan is to get out of the reactor room. Apparently, that's no one else's plan.
The sooner we analyze the sample of rock we got, we know what we're dealing with, the faster the containment.
You know
process-
who would be really good at analyzing that rock? The one who's in the reactor room.
We
I
work
do-
with what we've got.
I do agree that the suits would be a great idea, considering, didn't we say that those hitchhikers were heat seeking?
Possibly. They ignored the
disagree.
engine.
I'm going to grab the suits. Somebody get the sample organized or
Yes, do
analyzed,
both.
please.
I have knowledge of geology and biology in my knowledge skills.
Okay.
Would I be
yeah,
able to analyze the sample?
absolutely.
It'll
It'll need to go back to sort of one of the science stations sort
Yeah.
of things for analysis. Yep, sorry, Metzley.
I could maybe also help because I have eye for detail.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm trained in any task that involves finding or noticing small details.
Yep. And we should give you some skill in medicine and biology.
That might be helpful.
Yeah.
They might
we-
need that sometime.
Yeah, probably specialized in medicine and trained in biology.
Mr. Marcus, that sample. Is
Oh.
it organic
got
and rock, or is it mechanical in nature? Is there any machinery involved in it, or does it look like a thing?
Longshot has the sample. I've got the suits.
Long shot. Same question.
Analyzing it now.
All right, so you take it to sort of near the med bay, right, and sort of to a small science analysis station that's there, and dump it in and start doing up an analysis. So let's see. We'll say that doing the analysis on this, I'm going to set it at a level 6. So, although you still might get info if you fail. Like, it's just like a degree of success kind of thing. So, let's see. You said you had in your knowledge skills. So, yeah, you had biology, geology.
Yeah.
And you're trained in that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's a level of skill. So that will reduce it from a 6 to a 5. And if you want to apply effort, you can spend 3 from your intellect pool. And you're going to have a level 2 asset here. So you went from a 6 to a 5 and then down to a 3 from the asset because of like the equipment that you have.
Would I be able? I don't know if this works as well. I have one of the wrist thingamadoops that aids in knowledge-based tasks.
Yeah, so you sort of max out at assets at 2, regardless of where they come from.
And I'm going to take the 3.
Yeah. And basically that's like Metzley's support. Like, so you've got like tech, you've got a second person helping you.
Yeah. I got a 17.
Okay. All right. So the two of you are working that up. And it does appear mostly like the sample you pulled out is rock. It's the exact sort of crust you would expect from like a nickel iron, meteorite. So there's carbon compounds, there's a lot of stuff there. There is a little bit of organic material, but that's not unusual. So like asteroids, you can find amino acids and various other things in the great soup of space, perhaps where we came from. But in the midst of the analysis, you see that there are small, what appear to be some sort of nanoparticle that appear to be disassembling and self-assembling into like larger structures and then breaking apart. And they have a very, based on your biology background, both of you, they resemble like mycelia, like fungal, like root tendrils, like mycelia.
Good. We've got nanite-style mycelia tendrils in the rock.
So organic.
At least part of it.
All right, I don't know organic.
They're like like mechanical, so like nanotech, basically.
Oh, I feel like that's something I might know.
It like straddles that boundary between machine and biology.
Yeah, I know that real well. All right, I will be there in just in a second. I don't put it in a tube or something. Don't let it grow anywhere else.
I thought I just
like
attached it to the wall.
Yeah, it's like you're seeing it like under the electron high magnification microscopy, essentially.
I've had a thought. I'm gonna glance at Kane and say, just trust me on this one, right?
No.
Frick. Your attitude is always inspiring.
It's what I aim to be.
And it's so good that we have goals. We're getting somewhere. It's about as sarcastic as Mesley is at the moment. And I'm gonna, on a hunch, just to kind of prick my thumb and drop the blood on wherever the sample is and see what happens.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, it's it goes in this like specimen area and mixes in, and you can start seeing it under the microscope. And at least while you're looking at it, it doesn't seem to have any effect. The nanites don't really change doing what they're doing.
Okay.
They're still like active, but they don't appear to have like, been enhanced or anything.
Okay.
I advise not feeding the thing with our biological material.
Well, considering it might be feeding on our friends soon, it might be good to see what it's going to do. I'll keep an eye on it.
Marcus, Frank sort of comes on and tells you that the suits are fine. If you could get them through the airlock to both Eva and Billy, that it would be well within containment protocol to have them suited and escorted to containment in the med facility.
All right. So, yeah. Start doing that process.
I'm going to, I don't know if we have this, but I'm kind of assuming we do, set a private channel to just Dr. Delgado, if I can. Do we have that capability?
Absolutely.
Private chat room.
Hey, Doc.
Uh-huh.
Have you touched anything? Is she going to leave if we can get you out?
What do you mean?
I mean, it looks like maybe she chose to touch it. So
I know she did.
right. So if you can leave, will she agree to go with you? Just
I hope so. I don't know. Oh, look. Billy, are you still up on the...
No, I would have jumped down. No.
Okay. Billy, are you ready to go? Because I'm really ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, we can go whenever. I think protocol says we should be in like suits or something, but
Are you okay?
Like the airlock. Marcus just comes through.
Yeah, you would basically like put them in and then close it. You could cycle the inner door open so that they could get the suits and get dressed.
when I see Marcus arrive, I will smack him on the shoulder and then make my way to the lab.
Marcus just looks back, shakes his head, and just keeps going. Just like,
how big is our ship? How long does it take to travel from like place to place?
Not that long. From engineering, which is sort of the core of the engine section, it takes you like, a minute or two to get to, med and all of that. It's not a huge amount of space.
Okay, that's not bad. I will just walk then.
Yeah, the ship is massive, but it's like mostly engine.
Before Marcus does the airlock things, I'm going to send her a message saying, Hatsi, whatever was in that rock we shot off the side of the ship, it has nanites in it, at least partially alive, at least technically. Both doctors could be a contamination risk. Whatever you do, do not let them out of their suits. If they make one move to get out of the suits, they go back in.
understood.
Understood? Yeah. We matched understoods. I mean stoicism.
I'll go grab our suits. I'll bring them back. I'll hand one to Billy and I'll say, "Are you okay?"
I'm gonna cut my comms and I am gonna look at Eva and like point at her comms and like signal to cut them.
I will cut them and I will have my video recorder set, but just to record, not stream.
So that thing pricked me. And it's got nanites in it. That means
Oh.
they're in me now, maybe.
She, like, not even fully aware of it, takes like a half a step back and definitely drops the suit from where she was holding it out to you.
Thank you
Uh-huh.
so much. And I'll start putting the suit on.
I want to check every inch of my body that is exposed. Pretty please.
Yeah, and you don't see anything unusual at all.
I quickly get into a suit. Hey guys, we are in our Sunday best. If you could just, open the doors.
Frank.
And yeah, there's like a thunk as it unlocks to like sort of cycle back through.
I'll gesture for Billy to go first. Nope, I won't. I would go first. I lied. I'm scared. I lied. I would go first.
Yeah, and it's one of those like all the doors between like that don't lead directly to the med bay are like closed and locked.
Dr. Flores, you're meeting us there, escorting our contaminated.
Am I there now? Where is the lab part?
Yeah, like the lab and the med bay are sort of just off of the command hub somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah. The exact layout of the ship doesn't.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
Confirmed, I'll be there. You're doing great, Marcus.
I love her.
Thanks.
In the lab,
Yes.
when I get there, Dr. Flores, are you still like watching the sample that you put blood in?
I am. Have I seen any changes?
So like as you watch over time, the nanites occasionally like deconstruct things around them. So like the rock that was in with them, but including some of the like blood, gets deconstructed for like raw materials. So they are replicating, but very slowly.
So they appear to be breaking down somewhat, but very slowly. The process doesn't appear to be quick with the deconstructing and whatnot. How are you feeling, Glitch?
Peachy. I don't claim to know anything about nanites or organic machinery or things made in that manner, but nanites aren't always bad things, right? I mean, isn't that's like the whole branch of science now is nanites that can like go in and fix people and grow organs. And...
Exactly. Yes. No, there's nothing saying that there's necessarily anything dangerous about it. I suppose just precaution.
Aside from it's deconstructing.
Dr. Flores has like whole things and like nanomedicine is like one of those things you do.
Yeah.
Someone grows a tumor, like just throw those nanites in there.
Yes, there's nothing that says it could be either way. We just have to keep an eye on it.
Unless it gets attached to us and starts deconstructing us.
Well, then don't touch it.
I think we've already passed that. That ship has sailed. I'm talking explicitly about Lawless.
Well, I have a couple of ideas of some ways to monitor Miss Lawless. I think we'll be okay on that front.
I mean, maybe they'll pop into... I don't know how they work. Maybe they'll fix Lawless.
I don't know what there is to fix about Miss Lawless.
Maybe she has an incurable disease that we don't know about, but the nanites can fix it for her. I'm just saying, you know.
I'm gonna cough into the comms. I'm still here.
I think we're all in like the same space now at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
All the labs.
I would
we
still,
Yeah,
I would still be
in
talking
transit.
about you in front of you.
Yeah.
It's like
Great.
just staring at you like, maybe she has an incurable disease that the nanites are fixing. Whilst they're having this conversation as well, I've been pulling out the blaster that I have. Just very subtly, just so it's there.
Marcus is going to look at the situation, shrug, I'm going to go to my quarters, and just go beat on a bag for a while.
Good
Marcus,
job,
if you'd
Mr.
like to talk-
Marcus.
If you'd like to talk later, once I've taken care of Miss Lawless, you know where to find me.
Keep me updated.
Certainly.
So what, we just monitor them now?
And Frank comes on and says, well, I would suggest you put them in the containment tent. And yes, we should monitor, run tests and scans. And if they're given the clear bill of health, then they can come out of containment. Or quarantine, I should say.
Exactly. Once they get a clean bill of health. So we'll go ahead and get them into decontamination, I suppose.
Do we have any way to, I don't know, scan a body and search for nanites?
Well, we have all manner of all the best medical techniques that the year 2082 can afford on this ship. I mean,
Yes.
this isn't Star Trek. We can't just wave a magic tricorder over them, but I'm sure with all of the scanning equipment and unfortunately probably some invasive procedures, we can ensure that they are healthy.
Yes, absolutely. That can be arranged, Frank. Helpful as always. Like I said, let's get them in those containment tents separately, of course. Separate tents. And I'll start getting things ready. How's
By the way-
everyone feeling?
Why do we have to be in separate tents, though?
Well, just precautions.
Oh, goodbye, Eva, my love.
You'll be next to each other.
Mm,
You can it's literally a clear tent, right, Dan?
Yeah. It's like a bubble
like
sort of.
yeah, like on House.
oh.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
Like a little bit more
I
high
would
tech, but
Yeah. High-tech house. I have a cane. I do in real life, so might as well. Yeah, so I assume I would set that up. Actually, I don't know why I'm telling people to set that up. My
Doctor,
turn.
treat thyself.
I'm used to having assistants, haha, and I'll start setting it up.
No
Really,
nurses here.
it's gonna be just like camping. Isn't that exciting?
Well, I actually like camping, but
I don't.
I'm gonna
Too
try to gesture
outside.
for, sorry, I just want to gesture for Kane to step outside with me. That's all.
I will step outside with Glitch. Whilst keeping an eye on both of them.
Sorry, Eva, sorry, I interrupted you. You should keep going.
No, I was finished. I was just making banter while the other doctor was setting up our tents.
When we step outside, so there's still the very large quantity of nanites in the reactor core to deal with.
The plan, I believe, was to purge the system.
Yeah, I feel like we should do that sooner versus later because nanites, I'm sure they probably have a preferred food source to, help them grow fast into whatever form they're trying. If they want to become a person, they probably eat lots of carbon, but if they want to become a big robot, maybe they eat a lot of aluminum. But we should maybe destroy them before they get too big to destroy.
Agreed. I want whatever that is off my ship. She refers to this as her ship because she's a pilot. It's just a thing. She's like, this is mine. And Frank's like, no. But I'm going to lean close to Glitch and say, whatever that thing was, Dr. Lawless touched it. You said you can scan for nanites?
Probably.
Whatever this thing is, it's deconstructing, and as you say, eating. If it's inside her, she's a containment and a contamination risk for everyone on this ship.
At some point, nanites, if they have eaten the right food and are controlled well enough, stop being like little individual things. And I say this as someone who has no, biological knowledge. I'm not a doctor of any sort. I'm just an engineer, but nanites are like little machines. So yes, we should be able to scan for them.
We need to keep it contained. We need to keep them contained.
Frank?
Yes, Glitch?
What is the hottest we can turn that room into to kill nanites?
I'm afraid I don't believe the environmental controls will go high enough. However, all of the exposed areas are highly heat resistant. I am sure there's any variety of heat providing device that can be fabricated. Very high temperature plasma torches should perhaps do the trick.
Do you know how to use a plasma torch, Kane?
Yes.
Would you like to use a plasma torch, Kane?
Yes.
I'm gonna go get Marcus. Go get yourself a plasma torch and a suit.
I just immediately pull out a plasma torch.
I have no idea where you were keeping that, and I don't want to know.
Don't worry about it. I walk off.
Don't worry about it.
That's just every time it's like, don't worry about it.
Oh dear. All right. And so, Dr. Flores, are you initiating sort of requisite medical exams?
Yes. First, I'd like to get, once I have the tents up, a little bit of space apart, not touching it necessarily, but they can see each other. It's fine. Would you please, Ms. Lawless, if you'd go into this one and indicate the one closest to my desk, which I have relegated. It's mostly a pile of books. I'm very vintage.
That's okay. I like books. You would know that Billy owns a bookstore and that I love books.
Yeah. Well, perhaps you can read some from here. Gestures very kindly to get into the contamination tent.
Thank you so much. I have always wanted to stay in such fine accommodations.
Me too.
And I'll walk in.
And Dr. Delgado, into this one, please.
I don't say a witty remark as I walk into the other tent.
Your response has been noted. So I'll seal those however science works. I'll do the seal and say, all right, suits off, ladies, please.
So I imagine that basically inside these tents, there's like all kinds of remote controlled like medical devices, right? So There's things that, they strap on like wearables. There's, scanners of various kinds. Anything that has to do like internal scans is not, like by today's standards would be like super non-invasive surgery, right? Like better than the best like microsurgery. It's, because it's like nanotech devices that like, insert pretty painlessly through the skin and can like sample blood and whatever else. So it's invasive by 2082 standards, but it's actually pretty painless to like go through the procedures, but it does take time. And it's not, it's not like a magic medical scanner bed like Star Trek. But all kinds of stuff happening.
Okay.
All right.
I will definitely, as that's happening, watch the feeds, watch them very closely while also having a fresh cigarette.
Okay. So you basically have to, analyze the results. And so we'll do 2 different checks, one for each of them, because of course we have no idea if anything aerosolized perhaps in the engine room. And the challenge level will be hidden here. But you can assume it's probably high.
Okay. These words are new to me, but okay.
All right. So the challenge number is going to be like relatively high. So in Cypher, everything just has a level between 1 and 10.
Okay.
Which then translates to multiply that number by 3, and that's what you have to roll on a 20-sided dice.
Okay.
So obviously anything 7 or higher without skills or things like that is actually impossible to do, right?
Okay.
So, but if we look at your sheet, obviously you were specialized in medicine. So that is 2 levels, right? So training reduces by 1, specialization reduces by 2.
Okay.
So whatever that number was, it went from X to X minus 2.
Okay.
I think you should have an asset here because you've got all of this fine, fancy medical technology.
Okay.
And the highest your assets can max out at, either through a combo of equipment or the aid of other people, is 2. And I think you should get all 2 here. You've got the best medical equipment you could possibly have.
Okay.
So you've reduced whatever this unknown challenge is by 4 steps.
Okay.
And that's on that number from 0 to 10, not the bigger number.
Okay.
So it's actually reduced it by like 12, right? And then finally, what you can do is you can spend a level of effort.
Okay.
So to spend a level of effort, from this case, would come from your intellect pool. A level of effort costs 3 points out of that pool.
Okay.
So you'd spend 3, but you have an edge of 1 in intellect, so that subtracts off.
Okay.
So instead of it costing you 3, it would cost 2.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
And this is probably something you really, really want to be sure that you want to maximize your chance of passing, so it would make sense to spend here.
Right. Does Eye for Detail help here at all as well?
Like you basically, with the skill that you've got, I think you're pretty much maxed out at skills and assets at the 4.
Okay.
And then a 5, yeah.
Spend that effort.
All right. So
and
who would you
then-
like to check first?
Let's check Billy, because Billy did the touch.
Okay.
That is a 20.
You rolled a 20. Okay, great. All right. And on Eva, so all the same skills and stuff will apply, but you'll just have to spend the effort again if you want to spend it.
Do I want to spend effort on Eva? Yeah, I will. Let's see. And come on, baby. That is a 17.
Okay. All right. So basically pretty much the best you can possibly achieve on Billy. And all of your scans, there is a small quantity of nanites in her bloodstream. Eva appears to be nanite free.
Okay. Scribbling furiously in character and real life. Because I reject computers 90% of the time. Okay, so I'll note that. Okay, well, that was really great. Thank you both so much for cooperating. Make yourself comfortable. I'm gonna go to my desk, and it's not the desk I'm used to from home. I'm just gonna run some other things, look at the numbers, and see what we're dealing with here. Okay.
Thank you very much, Tall Squall, for the raid. Appreciate that.
Yay.
So for everyone new coming in, we are playing Project VHS, a occult horror science fiction show set in space on the very edge of the solar system. And we've just discovered that our occult specialist Billy is infected by some nanites because they let a weird space tendril touch them.
They did the touch.
Meanwhile, I imagine there's a cutscene to Natasha and Marcus like going nuts with the flamethrower
Just
plasma torches.
methodically, just
Yeah. And like all of the tendrils are just turning black and carbonizing and like being essentially atomized. You pretty thoroughly go over that whole room and eventually are pretty sure that you disinfected it as best as you possibly could.
yeah. Marcus is gonna try to I don't have the Billy Lawless go gadget leap boots, but get up to the ceiling and try and find where they come in and light up in there as well. Because I saw the holes coming down.
Yep.
I theorize that there are also holes going back up.
So there's just the one hole on each side essentially where these came in from. But yeah, when you peel back the bulkhead, it's wire tracing, presumably most of the way up to where these things were attached on the ship. So you estimate that it'll take some time, but thank you so much, Tall Squall, for the subscription. Really appreciate that. You think with some time, you're gonna have to disassemble some bulkheads and things like that, but you can eventually root this out.
Yeah, I'm gonna spend however long that takes, and probably have Longshot help me, or spend time on the other one to.
Yeah, it's probably a multi-day job to do it and then fix all the repairs.
Yeah.
I will assist in that.
Okay.
If I can. I probably won't use a plasma torch, but if they need someone to check the holes afterwards.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, Anders, you are a good engineer, so you probably get involved on electrical routings and things like that, the places they shouldn't burn and where they can and
as we're just the three of us in the reactor room, so clearly intense heat is good to destroy these things. It seemed to destroy the ones that we knocked off the ship too. We can't light the doctors on fire if they're infected.
I mean, we do have the capabilities to do that.
No, we physically can, sure, but spiritually,
we weigh the life of one against the life of everybody on this crew, and if that is the case, I'm afraid Dr. Lawless loses.
Well, I mean, it could be Dr. Lawless. It's most likely Dr. Lawless. She touched the thing, but it could be two, and that's a whole. Well, Frank is probably half the crew just by himself, so that's a lot of the crew.
I like Dr. Lawless, but if she's infected, then she goes. It's simple as that. It's a statistical average. One of us or all of us.
We're not lighting Dr. Lawless on fire. That's
We
not.
aren't. I'm not asking you to do it.
You're not lighting Dr. Lawless on fire because of some nanites that we don't know if they're harmful or not.
We will run all the tests. We will keep them in contamination, and we will keep them in containment. If Dr. Lawless starts showing signs of infection that could potentially endanger the rest of the crew, then I will take care of it. I'm not asking you to be present or to be a witness to it. I'm not asking you to like it or agree with it. I'm just telling you that's how it's going to be.
Marcus, you want to weigh in on this?
Marcus is just working. Not particularly. Just back at it. It's a lot of words for something that hasn't come up yet. That's my only feeling on it.
Survivalism 101, you prepare for the worst case scenario. This is the worst case scenario. Doesn't mean it's the one that's going to happen, but if you're not prepared for it, then it will kill you. And I don't intend to die here.
Survivalist 102, as just a counterpoint.
Uh-huh.
More crew means better chances later when we get closer to the mysterious voice at the edge of the universe. That could be any sort of thing. So I'll take some nanites.
Take some nanites. Do what you want. If you can fix her, and if she's not infected, great. We have a happy ending to this shit show of a day. But if she is infected, then that is what is going to happen. I am not risking everyone's lives for the lives of one, and we can do without one doctor on this investigation to a signal. It's a statistical average. If you start doing it by statistics, it's the only way we're going to make it to the end of this and back again alive.
I'm not fond of statistics.
You don't have to be.
How about this? If she's infected, if I can prove to you that the nanites will do no harm to her, to you, which apparently is more important than her, or to the rest of the crew, you don't do anything.
I can't make you that promise, Glitch.
I'd feel a lot better if you could. Feel a lot better.
I can't make you that promise.
Well, we better hope she's not infected.
And I go back to working on the plasma stuff.
Doing a great job there, Marcus. Good talk. Good talk, everybody.
Marcus just like turns up his music that he's been listening to this whole time, starts humming, just...
All right. So sort of like zooming out a little bit, because sort of processes at play here are the kinds of things that will work themselves out over like days and longer sort of time spans. And you're also rapidly approaching the object. You're estimated to be 2 weeks out, and Frankie has given you the first telemetry that you've had of the object that you are actually approaching. Because, of course, all you knew was where a signal was coming from. No actual visuals, nothing else you could read. And the signal, once it appeared and was detected, was never heard from again. In the whole 2 years, well, the whole, several years of training and the 2-year voyage that you've been on. But now you can see that if you digitally removed the bright burning deceleration plume of your engines pointed at the object you were rushing towards, slowing on your approach for rendezvous. There is a large, irregular, somewhere between a very large asteroid or perhaps even a dwarf planet way out here on the edge of the solar system. And of course it is utterly dark. The sun behind you is merely the brightest star in the sky. Slightly bigger, but not much bigger than any other. And you're racing towards this craggy, apparently, what you would thought, lifeless, airless, dead planet that is growing steadily larger and larger in your scans. So there's about 2 weeks before you get there. You get a lot of stuff you can do, including treating a patient and arguing about their fate and what you may or may not do. So if we zoom out kind of big picture, what would be the approach there between especially Metzley and Billy?
So once it's just the three doctors, I would cut my comms, and they don't have comms because they're in containment, I would assume.
Yeah, I mean, they could probably hear your voice through the
Well,
tech.
yeah, I'm going to talk to them. I just don't want the other three to hear. And I'll make sure I assume I have closing doors also to the med bay.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they are the sealiest of sealed. And I'll go to the both of them and just kind of look back and forth and go, Billy, you already know, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that's good. Dr. Delgado?
Dr. Flores.
Your results were a little more complicated, I'd say. So I think I'll need to keep you in containment along with Dr. Lawless for a little bit longer.
If you could clarify what you mean by complicated?
It's a little unclear as to whether or not there was a large or small or possibly at all amount of nanites that entered if it was airborne, and I'm just not comfortable allowing you around the rest of the ship. But it shouldn't take me too long to fix you up.
Perfect. I'm gonna point it, go over to the closest place between where I and Billy are, and say, "This is why you don't touch things."
I would like to turn. Do we all have the ability to DM each other through comm, or is that just Glitch? Okay. I would like to audibly DM Glitch kind of subtly and just go, Glitch, I need you in the med bay immediately, please.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a funny coincidence. I was on my way, so I'll be there in just a hot second.
Goody. I will unseal the Sealy seals.
Yep, okay.
I will go to the lab.
Just
Doctor?
Plop down on the floor by that wall between our walls.
Aw. So when Glitch gets there, I'm gonna reseal the Sealy seals to the main med bay doors. This is now the technical term. And just say, Glitch, I need you to do me a favor.
What's that?
Considering I think we both are vaguely fond of Ms. Dr. Lawless, right?
Yeah. Fond of everybody.
You don't have to lie.
I believe that the machine, the test results there may be a malfunction. If you could perhaps wipe that result or perhaps mark it as inconclusive for now while I run some other tests.
Absolutely. I am very good with machines. I will get your nanite detector up and working again.
Yes, thank you so much. In the meantime, they're both inconclusive, and I'll make sure I tell the rest of the crew.
That's great.
Mhm.
Do you mind if I borrow your microscope for just a second before I get to that? I wanted to look at the rock samples just a little bit closer.
Sure. And I'll remove, if the sample is still there, the sample that had the nanites in the blood and such. And
you could leave that. It might be good to compare the nanite sample to just the raw rock that they were consuming.
Good thinking. You always have such good ideas, Glitch.
I don't have any rock, but I would like to prick my finger when Flores is not looking and compare my blood to the nanites from the sample to see if it's similar.
Okay. I think even like without, doing a roll for like an investigation, I think even just like a cursory glance, even someone like relatively untrained, they don't look similar at all. Like similar in that they're both nanites, but they're totally different in how they like look and work. One being sort of clearly of human manufacture, and the other is fundamentally alien.
Is its behavior aggressive in comparison?
No, they both seem to just be like kind of doing their thing. Yours actually seem to be more active.
Okay.
The alien ones from the sample are like very slow.
Okay. That's good proof. I don't know how to deliver it yet without incriminating myself, but that's good proof for now. And then I'll go fix the machine.
Right, okay. Do you actually fix it?
I wipe the result.
Okay. All right. Well, so as we ruminate on that, I think that is where we will end for the evening. So, thank you everyone for joining us for our premiere of Project VHS. Things got spooky real quick, and this seems like headed into some alien territory. So we will think on that over the next week, and come back next week and find out how that plays out. And we probably will like cut time a little bit in between, so we'll chat offline and we'll be able to sort of summarize it for everyone in the intervening period. But now we'll go around and we'll let people give a shout out to anything, and also remind us of their favorite moment. And because we're using the character arc system, they can also let me know if they've made any advancements on those character arcs. And everyone will, of course, get 2 XP for a major discovery, because you did just discover the first active alien nanotechnology. So so that will be worth 2 XP. So let's do reverse order and start with Taryn and Marcus.
Hey, Void howdy. Yeah. Obviously you can find me, as I said at the beginning of the show, at Tarzan No Z on the Twitters. And then bunch of stuff coming up on Variant Roles. We have the finale of Burning Wheel on Sunday evening. We have the finale of Hellbind 7 on Monday. And then next Sunday, we're premiering Season 2 of Urban Shadows, Juno Darkness Beckons. I'm very hyped about that. And then, let's see, favorite moment. I like all the tension that is clearly present between all the characters. It's very good, and kind of makes sense for everybody waking up out of undead cryo for 2 years.
Yeah, and to clarify, because it came up in chat, no one is literally undead. It's sort of just the, like, description for being in a death-like torpor for the hibernation. Well,
yeah,
and maybe
then
someone will become undead. Who knows?
I think my main arc is defend the mission. I think definitely kind of disagreeing with everyone and just like saying we're blowing anyway, like getting things off the ship and trying to follow protocol. Definitely
that
focused
seems
on
to
that.
be defending the mission.
Yeah. So
I'll double check. I think it's 2 XP for steps. It might be 1, but we'll double check. It's in the book here.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's it's the big thing. So
all right.
I don't know if do we want to talk secondary arcs or not yet, but
oh yeah. Well, you can. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Secondary arc is his romance / friendship thing. Forget what it's called exactly. Friendship, yeah. I think is exactly what I call the arc, because Marcus just wants a friend. And they're moving that direction with Kane, I think.
Yeah.
The high five was a big step.
Yeah. Perfect. So yes, it is 2 XP per step. So that's an additional 4 XP for you.
Ooh.
Perfect. All right. Maria.
Oh, hello. I'm Maria. You can find me at Happy Capster on the interwebs. I'm doing a lot of things that were mentioned besides this lovely show. On Sunday, I have 2 games that are ending. The first one is Monster Hearts, Fatal Friends and Wicked Lovers. That's ending. That's going to be great. Second, Burning Wheel, ending right after that, which is also going to be great. There's going to be an election. Keep an eye out for that. Monday ends my maiden voyage into DM streaming, Headline 7. It's going to be great. If you like space, it's also in space. And then we're going to be starting up soon after Hellbine, a wonderful thing that Emma can talk more about, but it's called Grim Films, and it's going to be real good. It's going to be real good. And of course, Urban Shadows, which I'm so excited to play again. I'm so excited to play it. Oh my goodness. So many good things. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that the vibe that Urban Shadows had, like the inter-character interactions, was a big inspiration for me wanting to do this game and in this format. So
that's so cool. Non-VR related stuff that I want to plug. My husband and I just started a website, Goblin Society Games, also at Society Goblins on Twitter. There's this big compendium of magic items he's been working on for a really, really long time, and we're starting to release those. They are for to use at this point, because we're going to try to compile them into a book, and it's going to be really, really cool. But if you want to give it a follow, give it a look, give it a like, it would be really cool if you want to see cool stuff. Speaking of cool stuff, the touching of the unknown space thing was probably my favorite part. My favorite. Eva's having a panic attack in her head, but I really liked just it's touching me.
As a GM, it's the whole just do the thing. Just do the thing. Perfect. Excellent. What about your character arcs?
So my first character arc was kind of like a mishmash custom one, which I feel like I need to kind of narrow down a bit more with you, which is essentially recovering from personal trauma / defeating inner demons. Don't think that really got addressed very much. I think it just added to personal trauma in a different way. The second arc was Uncover a Secret, which I had a specific secret in mind.
Yes. Yeah.
And I don't think this really touched too much on it.
Not yet.
Yeah. So
That'll come though.
Yeah. So I don't think mine really. I didn't really dance too much on those.
Okay. Perfect. All right. Keep going around with Quinn.
Yes, hello. I'm Quinn. Quintastic on Twitch, and then Quintastic _ on Twitter. I am in games. On Tuesday, I'm running a Velvet Soiree, which is a fun, if you like aristocracy and politics and awakened shrubs, I'm your demi-gal. Let's see, I'm in this. Am I in any? I'm in Grim Femmes, which is going to come up, which Emma will probably plug harder because it is her baby. Other than that, I am a variety gaming streamer here on the Twitch. Right now we're playing Prey because it felt appropriate. So I get to scream in space twice. And my schedule's on my Twitter. My favorite moment was the fucking Kane Glitch conversation. And just Glitch is so cute. I love Glitch. My favorite. Not that I have favorites. I love you all equally. And in terms of character arcs, my first one was Defeat a Foe. Dan, I don't think we ever talked about what that foe was.
I don't think we did. We'll have to talk about that a little bit.
There is more than one foe.
Okay.
And I took a step towards one of them. Well, two of them.
All right.
And the other one was Transformation. And again, we were kind of vague about it, but I feel like discovering that alien nanites exist might be a step towards that.
Yes, absolutely.
that could be a thing that could happen. So yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right, let's kick it around to the touchy witchy herself, Billy. Emma.
Hi. That was so much fun. I want to play this every day, always and forever. So I'm Emma. You can find me at MK Hansen on Twitter. Let's see. I'll do favorite moment first. Okay. Well, I was going to say the touching of the tentacle thing, because if anybody knows me, like, hello, hi, I volunteer as tribute to touch all the weird stuff in this game. But I will say, I think probably when Natasha and Marcus were outside and the way that they were like communicating like with one another, it was like very, I don't know, it was just like really well done because it was very specific. It was very like scientific. It was also very just like, we're doing this thing now and we have to do this. Like we jumped right into it and it was awesome. As for character arcs, my first arc is Explore.
Mm-hmm.
So like kind of, but like I also feel like not quite yet. I feel like it's not a big enough of an explore.
Yeah, you haven't gotten to the destination yet.
Yeah, so it's not really that. And then my secondary arc is well, I have Uncover a Secret / Growth.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, yeah, I don't think I touched on I think I'm getting there, but like not quite yet.
Yeah, I think you've got some stuff that might trigger and like, yeah.
Exactly. Okay, and as for stuff that I'm doing, okay, Tuesdays you can find me on Dice Priori, 10:30 p.m. Monday we have our, well, I guess I should go in like chronological order, but we all know numbers don't mean anything to me either. So Sunday we have the finale of Monster Hearts. That'll be exciting. Monday we have the finale of Hellbine. And then Tuesdays I'm on Dice Prairie. Thursdays I'll be here. And then the following Monday, Grim Femme starts. The campaign is called Beyond the Veil. And actually everybody except Taryn, well, and Dan are in it. And we will be exploring and processing real life trauma using storytelling. We're really excited about it. There will be some more information out this week, sort of to share our journey and safety tools that we'll be using to do this. But I'm really excited. I'm really excited to do it here. And I'm really excited to do it with y'all. And it's going to be really awesome. It's 5e, but also not 5e. It's
5e-ish.
It's 5e in skeletal form, but it's a lot of collaborative storytelling and supernatural weird stuff. Okay, thanks.
Perfect. All right, Val.
Hi everybody, I'm Val. I'm the Nerdy Niffler on Twitter. I don't know why I always forget that. It's the same handle I've had since I started. My favorite moment was all of it. I loved all of it. I love space. Everything space. I loved the touching of the thing because usually I'm the person that licks things, so I was like, touch it, touch it, touch it, whilst Kane was like, no! And the second thing was, I always want to play a stoic character, and I think because there's such like a great relationship between all of us as a cast, I feel I can do things and have that conversation with Glitch without it being something that gets taken out of character. I was messaging Emma like, Emma, I love you, I'm so sorry. But yeah, I think it's just really, it feels very great to have like such a great relationship as a cast that you feel like you can go to those places and stuff like that, and it's all just part of the story and part of the character. So I love that, and I love you guys. You guys are all great. My arc is mysterious background, which Natasha is furiously running away from, so I don't think we made progress there. Yeah, I was like, mysterious background, Natasha furiously runs away from her past. And my second arc, I've been debating, because I wrote down, I think, growth, but I've been debating whether to, for the last week or so, to change it to either a fall from grace or redemption one. So I'm gonna hold off on that and say I made no progress except for getting the rocks off the ship with Marcus.
Well, that was very important, though. So.
Excellent. Things.
Oh, yeah.
Things. We have Calls of the Shadow Fate on Friday. It's great. We make terrible choices there as well. And on Sunday we have the finale of Monster Hearts. I think all become our darkest selves. It's going great. On Mondays, the Sacred Femme starts. I'm so excited about it. It's going to be so great. And then on Thursdays, here. But also, another plug that's not related to me, go watch Urban Shadows, because the first season was so great, y'all. And just go watch it. It's I love it. It's one of my favorite shows. Like, go watch it. It's so great. Okay, now I'm done fangirling over that.
Perfect. All right, and Anders.
Hello, I'm Anders. What do I have to talk about? I listened to 5 people do it, and now I'm not prepared. You can find me at Anders_D_K on the internet. My favorite moment, there were so many. I loved all of it, but in particular, I enjoyed sassing with Marcus and Frank because I didn't know that Glitch was going to do that, but I like that he did. So yeah, that was good. It helped me kind of figure out the character as well. And also touching the thing. Always touch the thing. It's so good. Thank you for touching the thing.
Out of
Emma.
character, always touch the thing. I mean, I did it first. I put my hand on the rock, so.
Always touch the thing.
I volunteer as tribute.
In terms of character arc, my first one is also mysterious background that Glitch is running from. But I don't know if this counts as making progress towards that or not. He did look at nanites and like start to kind of think about things like that scientifically.
No, I buy it.
Okay. Arc 2 is growth. I don't think he's trying to become a person. And I don't think he did anything new in that direction tonight.
Okay.
I mean, yeah. I haven't quite worked out what become a person means, but that's his goal.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's one that our conception will probably grow and change as we play the game.
Yeah. Plugging things. I'm doing all the things here. The Monster Hearts finale on Sunday, the Velvet Soiree dinner party on Tuesday, this on Thursday, then Grim Femmes when that starts on the following Monday, So all of those things are great, and you should check them all out. Also on Saturday, I might be playing a D&D 5e goblin themed one shot to celebrate the end of a successful Kickstarter. But I didn't know if that's actually confirmed happening or not, so I'm just gonna say follow me on Twitter and find out. And that's it for me. Yay!
Perfect. All right.
And Anders writes games.
All right,
Anders
right
writes
games.
games. Check out Anders itch.io. Got some great stuff, and if you're interested, at least we've got a VOD up on our YouTube for Home for Maryland, which made me weep multiple times. That was so great to watch, so you could go check that out. Yeah, so our schedule, as you'll see in chat, is very packed. I think it's up to date. It might need some new things added. There's no indie showcase game this week. I do know that changed. Nox is taking the week off, much deserved. I'm basically here most of the time in chat or various other things. And hopefully we'll be back on Saturday with some Invisible Sun. We're just working out. I think Alex is maybe going to GM again. And we'll get some people together to do that, and I'll get to play again, which will be fantastic. And otherwise, in early November, that will be back with As the Suns Burn on a regular basis. But otherwise, Saturday night, we'll just have some random one-offs through the month of October. Yeah, so let's go with one crit. We'll
Well, it's a
read over
premiere. Does it matter? It says it's a
there.
premiere.
It'll still boost their numbers.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I was gonna do Chromatic Chimera, but they were just wrapping up. So, and all right, so I think that's about all for me. So
Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow,
yes,
do all the things.
like, subscribe,
Uh,
Patreon.
YouTube.
Patreon.com/variantrolls, YouTube for VODs and stuff.
If you want to catch up on Urban Shadows, it's all on
Mhm.
YouTube.
That's
Or
right.
any of the awesome shows that have been produced here. So
Yeah, there's like
Yes.
literally dozens and dozens of
Yeah,
episodes of content
crazy.
up there.
It's great.
There's so
fantastic.
much.
Yeah,
So
and
much.
we add like 6 a week or something.
Yup.
It's crazy.
We got a very full schedule.
Yeah.
We do. All right.
And if you want to see Billy touch more weird things, tune in next week.
Yep.
I'll be
Yep.
here all season.
There's going to
We
be
hope.
another there'll be another 11 episodes of this where people touch weird things, and we'll see what happens. So thanks everyone for tuning in. Appreciate it. This was a great premiere. I couldn't ask for a better cast. Thanks so much,
thanks for
Party
the
White
raid.
Games, for the raid. We're actually just wrapping up as we finished our premiere.
follow us to the next
VHS.
Follow
raid.
us. Follow
We're
us.
Onward.
But we're gonna kick everyone over to
Be
One
like-
Crit Wonder.
We'll be like a tidal wave.
So
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Poor
So
Narnia.
follow along, everybody.
To the void.
Y'all are
And while everyone is real silly, bye all.